Hello folks, today I thought I would have a little talk about two things that have caused me a bit of an issue being on the boat. So they are living on a boat with a disability and loneliness. So I'll start by my experiences of what I find difficult on the boat. Well, not necessarily difficult. They can cause you a problem. You need to be aware of it if you've got a disability to do with your movement, say your legs and that, if they're weak. So for me, there's four main things. There's water, there's your toilet needs, as in emptying the toilet cassettes, there's the gas bottles, and there's filling up your diesel. Now the diesel obviously gets filled up by somebody else, but you still need to get your boat from where you are to where it's being filled, even on a marina. So we'll discuss the water situation. I don't know how it is on all marinas, but on our marina you do have a point just outside your boat, and you have to hook your hose up to it, and then it needs to be hooked. Then you undo a cap on your boat, and you put the hose in. Then you go to a machine, you tap your number in, and it gives you it connects your boat up to that point, and you get half an hour's water, which goes quite a long way for me. But some people might only last a week. It depends how many's on the boat, and how much water you use, basically. Now, that's probably the least of the issues, because it's just a matter of getting out your boat, connecting the hose up, then walking down wherever the machine is. But if you've got mobility issues, just a little thing like that could cause a problem, so you need to be aware of it. And so that's one thing what because you've got to get out your boat, and then you've got to walk, and so yeah. Gas bottles on your boat. Now, that even when they're empty, they're still quite heavy. I mean, I can't lift it out of the boat, but then I'm quite weak now, so you need to either have somebody who can take care of that for you, or if you're on a marina, for instance, then you may have to pay somebody to swap them over and get a new one. So far I haven't needed to change mine. One did run out. I don't know how much was in it when I got the boat, and I've now a friend switched it over to the other canister, because normally you'd probably have two, and that one still hasn't emptied yet. So I've been on the boat for 5 months, and I haven't used two canisters yet. And I do a fair bit of cooking. Yeah, so I probably do more than most people, because I'm always using the grill for my toast, and then I'm always cooking things like my potatoes, my meat, my gravy on the hobs. So that's something else to bear in mind. Again, not necessarily a big issue on the boat, but you need to be aware of it. Right, diesel. diesel's not a problem if you can get your boat from A to B, but in my case, my insurance won't let me drive the boat because I've got no experience. And so for this year, I have to have somebody experienced to drive the boat, and I could drive it if they were with me, if I knew what I was doing, but I don't. And because I've got weak legs and that, it's not something I'm really need to do, really want to do. So in my case, I have to pay the person from the marina to just get my boat to fill it up with diesel, and it's literally yards away from the place. You know, it's not far at all. It's, I don't know how far you'd say it is, probably 50 metres at the most, I would have thought. So yeah, so that can add some cost to it. For instance, last month my bill was I think it was 100 and, I'm not sure, it was 170 something or 180 something pound. That was for the fuel and for the labour. So yeah, not great. Now, the biggest issue is the toilet cassettes. That's what my boat uses. Now, they are heavy. And now people say, right, well, you need to then take it every day or every couple of days to get emptied. But if you've got an issue with your a disability and you're finding it hard to walk, that takes a lot of effort, you know. So you have to work out, do I struggle, you know, maybe if you did it every day or at least 4 times a week, do you struggle on all those occasions, or do you leave it to one trip when it's full but it's heavy? So you need to bear that in mind, because you've got to get the toilet cassette out your boat. That my mind came with 2, but I just quickly discovered it was a lot easier to buy one of these replacement ones which got wheels and a handle, and I used that and roll it through the boat because I couldn't carry the other ones, you know. So that I do that. I can get it up the 2 steps one at a time, or 3 steps, and then I can get it out the boat. But if I'm having a really bad day, it does take it out of me, and then I have to sit down for a few minutes to recover, to get me breath and to get me you know, so my legs recover so they're not so floppy and that. Then you need to wheel it to where your car is. So if you're on a mooring, you need to make sure that you've got parking near your boat. I initially, parking wasn't near my boat and I couldn't manage it in the end, so I've had to move. Now, because parking's near my boat, I have to pay extra charge. So you've got to take that in consideration as well. And then what happens then is I put it into the car. I have to lift it into the car, and then I drive round to the Olsen, and then I have to go into there, and then I have to lift this thing up onto a surface like a table. It's like a sink, but it's like, you know, it's table height, I should say, which is it's a good weight, and again, on a good day you can do it. You know, it's hard, but you can do it. But on a bad day, it can be really hard. And now, the thing to bear in mind is you're not going to get any help. Well, you won't on this marina to get them emptied. You've got to do it yourself. So I don't know whether that's like it all over the country, or whether there's you know, people who can help with that. But over here they're saying you need to have your, if somebody's going to help you, they've got to have all their inoculations, their hepatitis and everything, and they generally haven't got it. So you know, if you can't do it yourself, I'm assuming that, I mean, this is my next thing to look at, whether I can get any support with carers or social services and that, and whether the marina will accept that. But it's something what you need to be aware of. I think from what I've been reading up on, and I could be wrong, this is just what I've been reading on the internet, that those with disabilities probably are not catered as well on a boat than you are in a house. But I could be wrong. That's something I've got to, that's my next thing to research. I know there is help out there. The Canal and River Trust, I'm still reading up on it and I need to speak to them. But so far I've had to struggle along, and I admit at times, you know, I have thought, you know, where do I go from here? Do I have to leave? But in my case, I haven't really got an option. If I moved into a rented accommodation, it's going to cost more than what my income is. I don't get a housing benefit at the moment. I've been waiting since November and it's nearly April now. I've just chased them up to see whether anything's happening. So I've just been using my I've been using the money from the sale of the house, what was left over from when I bought the Narrowboat. But that's not going to last, you know, for much longer at this rate anyway. So yeah, it's hard. So that's so far my issues with disability. I don't think there's really anything else. Obviously, well, you've got the space situation. That, to some extent, can benefit you if you're a bit wobbly in that. Because you can't, down the corridors, you can't really fall very far. Unless you go forward or backwards. But if you're holding, I usually tend to put my hands anyway, just to give me a bit of support. And the boat, despite what you might think, the boat doesn't really rock much. Certainly when you're sitting down like I am, you would not notice it rocking. If you're sitting facing the length of the boat, then you will feel it if it's windy. Not if it's not a windy day, then no. But if it's windy, then yes, you can be aware of it. The same as if you sit where I am and you've got a window where you can see, just there, I've got the curtains pretty well drawn. If I was sitting here and it was windy and I was looking out there at the boat, what's next to me, then you can see the horizontal lines going up and down, and that can send you a bit queasy, you know. So, but you know, it's something which you're aware of, and you just doesn't bother you, to be honest. You avoid it, and that's it. So for me, it's, you know, if I don't know whether there is such thing as a motion sickness on a boat, you know, what's more than that, but for me, doesn't cause a problem. So the next thing, folks, is loneliness. Now, I'm a loner. I class myself as a loner, but I like company. I like to go out. Now, we used to go out a lot when my parents were alive, and I looked after them for many years. We used to go out once or twice a week for a meal. and we'd go out for drives in the country, and now I'm on my own, and to be honest with you, I'm finding it very difficult to find anyone to go out for a meal with. They don't seem to, they're either on diets on the marina, or there doesn't seem to be the interest. And I suppose a lot of the time, most of the people are all couples. So yeah, you know, it does get me down at times. I miss it. Yesterday and today I really wanted to go out for a meal. I asked on one of the WhatsApp groups, and there just wasn't the interest, you know. So admittedly some people might have been at work, you know, but I think a lot of people go out as couples, and you know, and I suppose money situation and stuff. So but yeah, I do miss those times where you can just go out, or you know, you could go not even far away, but in your same county, and do some sightseeing and stuff, and you can have a natter. I know you've got the problem, you can't walk and that, but you can still go places, and you know, even if it's just going into a lay-by and just admiring everything, and then going and pottering off, and maybe come across a shop that sells ice cream, you know, in the warmer weather, or visit a cafe. I really miss those. I mean, I will do it on my own, but I tell you what, folks, it's just not the same. I really, I go out for meals on my own, but you know, it does get me down, folks. So that's basically what I wanted to say. It's not all perfect on a boat. There's things what you need to be aware of if you have issues. So that's the video for today, folks. Thank you for watching, and there will be more videos coming up. I'm still getting the videos to be uplinked from my other channel, because it's all merging into one. So if you haven't moved, I suppose if you're seeing this video, then you have moved, but the Narrowboat one will be shutting down once all the videos have been moved across. So bye for now, folks, and I'll see you again soon.